Baby, this trial is not just about Cassie anymore. Oh no, what started as a bombshell case about a music mogul's alleged abuse just snowballed into a full-blown Hollywood apocalypse. And honey, when I say the courtroom is shaking, I mean teeth chattering, whole building vibrating, shaking. It all began with Cassie's chilling testimony. The abuse, the freak-offs, the control. The room was already tense, but baby, buckle up, because that was just Act 1. Then came the whisperers, followed by leaks. Not just Twitter drama, not just messy Reddit threads, we're talking federal courtroom whispers, leaked summaries, secret audio playbacks that no one expected. And the moment those tapes dropped, boom, half of Hollywood went down in flames. Insiders say the prosecution had been laser focused on Cassie's timeline until everything shifted. Now, they've brought in tapes, not just any tapes, tapes that allegedly featured Diddy, Will Smith, and Meek Mill. Yes, you read that right. Will Smith, Meek Mill, and Diddy allegedly leading the show. Now let's rewind for a second. A few days back, the court quietly rolled out hotel surveillance footage. No audio, just video, you know, the kind that makes you squint and guess. People assumed that was it. But then courtroom leaks started flying. Behind closed doors, phones confiscated, no recordings allowed. Silent terror crept through the courtroom as audio was reportedly played. Sources said it was graphic, explicit, male on male, and so raw the whole room just stopped breathing. No coughs, no whispers, not even a chair creak. One insider said it best: you don't get that kind of silence unless what you're hearing is life-altering. And just when the temperature dropped below freezing in that courtroom, more bombshells exploded. New witnesses were announced. Not clout chasers, not anonymous tipsters, but real people. Former bad boy artists, ex-staff, people who lived in Diddy's orbit for years. Some toured with him, others partied in his mansions. These were insiders, silent for too long, but not anymore. Enter Dawn Richard, formerly of Danity Kane. She gave her testimony, then walked out of court, visibly shattered. Paparazzi caught her, no makeup, no security, smile, just pain. Sources said her testimony backed Cassie's claims word for word. She said Diddy did horrible things in open court, not gossip, babe, court records. And then came the moment that melted everyone's hearts into puddles of dread. Diddy's daughter walked out of the courtroom after the tapes played. She didn't cry, she didn't talk, she didn't even look up. Pale, silent, the kind of silence that screams louder than words. Paparazzi didn't even bother yelling questions. They knew. Insiders now say her reaction happened the second the audio ended. So whatever played in there, it wasn't just disgusting. It was personal. It was real. Now let's talk about the ripple effect. This is no longer about lawsuits or settlements. We're talking about careers, legacies, entire dynasties falling apart like a cheap wig in a thunderstorm. Because guess whose name is tangled up right in the middle of the mess? Will Smith. When the courtroom tapes reportedly featured his voice alongside Diddy's, the internet went insane. People started pulling receipts faster than a TMZ editor on espresso. Old clips, eye-roll interviews, wild podcast moments, and then the clip that made everyone's jaw drop all over again. Comedian Lonell casually dropping the line that Diddy and Will were clapping each other's cheeks. Oh yes, she said it like she was ordering Starbucks. Most people ignored it back then, but now the whole internet is playing detective. They're rewatching Will's interactions with Jaden, the weirdly playful energy, the lingering kisses, the overly sweet hugs. What once looked like quirky dad behavior, now it's being called red flags. Then came Brother Bilal, Will Smith's former assistant. And baby, when I tell you he lit the internet on fire, he said he personally saw Will get playful with another man's junk. That Will got bent over a couch by Dwayne Martin, like a yoga instructor. Yes, you heard that right. That quote has been reposted more times than the Keep My Wife's Name slap clip. And baby, when those allegations dropped, the internet turned into the freaking FBI. She stood by Cassie. She admitted Diddy did horrible things. This wasn't gossip. This was sworn testimony. and it shook the prosecution to its core. But then came the moment that made the world hold its breath. Diddy's own daughter. She walked out of that courtroom pale, stunned, dead silent. No smugness, no defiance, just an empty, haunted expression. Not even the paparazzi dared to yell questions. They sensed something had gone very, very wrong. Insiders say she walked out right after one of the explosive audio clips was played. That's when everyone knew this wasn't about legal consequences anymore. This was about legacy, family, exposure, and Will Smith's name getting dropped in the middle of all this? Oh, sweetie, the internet exploded. Remember that one interview where comedian Lunel casually said Will and Diddy were clapping cheeks? It was wild, unexpected, and back then, people brushed it off, thought it was a joke. But now, it's viral all over again. And suddenly, fans were going full FB, replaying old clips of Will and Jaden Smith. Reanalyzing those affectionate moments, those quirky hugs, that extra touchy energy that used to seem cute. Now, it's being rewatched with a side eye. And just when it couldn't get messier, boom, Brother Bilal enters the chat. Will Smith's former assistant dropped a nuclear bomb of his own. He didn't just make vague accusations, he described what he allegedly witnessed in detail. From Will allegedly fondling another man to getting bent over a couch by Dwayne Martin. That's not even paraphrased, those are his exact words. People were shook. It was too specific, too vivid to ignore. And honey, when the internet hears something that wild, you know they're gonna dig. Old party pics of Will and Diddy hugging at events? Found. Club footage of them toasting champagne? Found. People even pulled up grainy photos of them chilling by the pool together. So when Will Smith jumped online and said, "I ain't nowhere near that man, baby," it only made things worse. Way worse, because the internet clapped back instantly. Oh really? Then what's this? Cue slideshow of receipts. So now, it wasn't just shocking. It felt like a cover-up, a very public one, and people, they do not like feeling lied to. And then, in comes Meek Mill. This man's name got dragged straight into the courtroom audio too. And let's just say, he did not handle it well. Unlike Will, who issued a basic denial and tried to stay quiet, Meek imploded. Tweets flying every 2 minutes, full caps, random rants, y'all trying to ruin me, this is lies, don't play with me, and baby, every single post got ratioed into oblivion. The more he tried to deny, the more the internet started believing it had to be true. Why? Because Meek and Diddy have history. For years, fans have joked about their weird dynamic. Diddy's intern, pocket puppet, even worse nicknames that we won't repeat here. At the time, people laughed it off. But now, those jokes feel like clues. One clip showed Meek dancing at billionaire Michael Rubin's party, looking hella uncomfortable, while someone off camera laughed at him, not with him. Fans said it felt off, like something wasn't right. Then another clip surfaced, Diddy throwing Meek a shirtless birthday bash by the pool. The kicker? Diddy calling him daddy on camera. I love you, daddy. Proud of you. Appreciate life, daddy. The internet lost it. Meek tried to save face, tweeting, "I'm not fruity, stop playing with me." But fans, nope, they had the receipts. The memes came rolling in. Daddy became a viral hashtag. Meek's credibility evaporated in real time. And still, despite all the chaos online, no one outside that courtroom has actually heard the tapes. There's no leak, no screenshot, no still image. Not even a second of the audio has surfaced online. And that is even more terrifying because in this day and age, everything leaks. Court files, hacked phones, stolen videos. It always finds its way out. But this time, nothing. And now the internet's asking the real question, who's protecting this? Because it's starting to look like there's a bigger force at play. Something deeper. Something that goes beyond Diddy and Cassie. Because if that audio leaks, we're not just talking canceled celebrities. We're talking contract terminations, billion-dollar brand deals going poof, lawsuits from left, right, center, and careers being obliterated overnight. And the scariest part, The belief that Diddy, Will Smith, and Meek Mill may just be the tip of the iceberg. If the rumors are true, if what insiders are whispering behind closed doors is even half accurate, then baby, we're about to witness the largest celebrity fallout of the decade. Because if they were in that room, who else was? It's giving Epstein-level energy, a closed-door world full of lavish parties, freak-offs, and A-listers doing things they'd never want the public to know. We're talking about people you'd never suspect, actors, singers, athletes, media moguls, and suddenly all those bizarre interviews, awkward interactions, and strange energy from the past, it's all being re-examined. People are pulling up Diddy's old comments where he kept saying pause after every sentence. Was it insecurity, deflection, or was he hiding in plain sight? And remember how artists kept disappearing from Bad Boy? Aubrey O'Day has been screaming for years. Don Richard tried to speak out. Danity Kane, Day 26, even the guys from Making the Band, they all vanished under mysterious, messy circumstances. Now it's not just a theory, it's court-tested, testified under oath, legally binding TAA. Let's go back to Don's moment for a second, because it was powerful. This wasn't some jilted ex-employee. This was a woman who looked devastated. Her body language screamed exhaustion. Her silence outside the courthouse was louder than any words. And insiders say she looked that way because she finally let it out. She spoke on what she'd seen, the freak-off parties, the manipulation, the trauma, and she confirmed that Cassie wasn't lying. So when the judge heard that, the courtroom shifted. What started as a story about one woman's pain, now it's about a pattern, a network, a cover-up. And here's the thing. This doesn't just affect Diddy. Will Smith's already battered reputation, high Oscar slap, is now dangling by a thread. People who defended him during the Chris Rock drama are now reconsidering everything. Because if he's in those tapes, if his voice is in those recordings, that is not a scandal he walks away from. That's not a sorry I was going through something type of moment. That's career ending. And Meek Mill, poor thing, the internet is eating him alive. He's not even charged with anything, but his own reactions have been so extra that people can't help but assume he's guilty of something. Every time he tweets, "Y'all trying to destroy me," fans hit him back with "destroy you? We didn't record the tape, boo." And that's the power of the court of public opinion. You don't need a conviction when the vibe says guilty. But here's what's making everyone spiral even harder: the silence from the government. Why hasn't anyone from the prosecution come out to explain what's in the audio? Why hasn't there been a press conference, a clarification, even a basic statement confirming or denying the involvement of Will and Meek? Nothing. Which leads people to believe that this thing is too hot to touch. Like maybe there are deals we don't know about, agreements with studios, billionaire hands pulling strings behind the scenes. And don't forget, this trial has federal oversight. So it's not just one celebrity lawsuit anymore. It's not even just a civil matter. It's a criminal case now. And that means people can face real prison time. And that's why Hollywood is terrified. Because what if the dominoes don't stop with Diddy? What if more insiders start testifying? What if someone accidentally leaks the audio? What if names like Jay-Z, Kanye, or even someone in politics get dragged in next? Now, let's pause and remember the cultural impact Diddy had. He wasn't just a record label exec, he was the guy. Bad Boy Records, Voter, MTV, Making the Band. He had his hands in everything: music, fashion, TV, politics. And now it's all burning. And you know what people are saying? The signs were always there. How every artist that left Bad Boy seemed traumatized. How Diddy always made things about him. How he had this obsession with control and this strange, almost insecure masculinity. All those bizarre interviews where he joked about sex in weird ways. All those parties where no cameras were allowed. All those moments that seemed off, now they're being rewatched with new eyes. It's not hindsight anymore, it's confirmation. And that's why this scandal isn't going away anytime soon. It's not just gossip, it's not just drama, it's systemic. And baby, the cracks are getting deeper. Will Smith's clean image shattered. Meek Mill's street cred evaporated. Diddy's legacy annihilated. And still, no one's heard the full audio. The silence is deliberate, calculated, almost like someone is trying to run out the clock, praying it doesn't leak. But you know what they say, the internet never forgets. People are digging, forums are lit, Reddit threads are running 24/7, investigations are happening in real time. There are fans who've now become full-blown detectives. If that tape surfaces, and God knows it might, it will be the end of certain celebrity circles. Not just the fall of a man, but the unmasking of an entire system. The velvet curtain is being pulled back, and what's behind it, baby, it's dark. Hollywood is shaking, reputations are crashing, and the public, we are watching. Whoa.